out of the wishbone, but well, they have Schultz's number.
Brad Riddell back to do the punting. Edwards and LeMaine back to return the kick. The kick coming to the right side. Fair catch called for and taken on the 12-yard line. And then hit and dropped, and no flag goes down, and the crowd just cannot believe it.
On the fair catch, you're supposed to give him some room there.
Well, he had room to make the catch, but after he made the catch, and obviously he's not going to return the ball, a Trojan defender just threw him to the ground.
And here's a look at it again. Well, you can't see if he had called much of a fair catch, but the official standing right by him.
Yeah, now they're going to mark it off. They never threw a flag, but I mean, that was so flagrant. And the official who didn't throw the flag, I guess the other official said, "You are kidding, Herbert. Have you forgotten some part of your equipment?" Okay, step off against the Trojans. Put it out on the 17-yard line where it'll be 1st and 10. And boy, that's just a mental mistake on the part of the Trojans. Have to believe that Trojan player just did not realize that a fair catch had been called for.
Both teams playing outstanding defense, and neither club has been able to cash in on a turnover each. Both teams have fumbled.
1st and 5 as the Cardinals come up to the line of scrimmage. Flags fly, penalty going to be called, I think, against the Cardinals, but we'll have to wait and see.
Well, we went through, Bob, most of the first quarter without too many infractions, and then toward the end of the first period and now here into the second quarter, we have seen a lot of yellow flags.
The legal procedure against the Cardinals. So now they're going to have that wraps up that penalty, wipes it away of hitting the man after he signaled for the fair catch. Cardinals will have a 1st and 10 on about their 11-yard line. They have wide receivers split out left and right, but they're going to go with the running play. They're getting very little at all, maybe about 1 yard, and that is going to be it.
Arterberry running out of the tailback slot now.
He's alternating with Reggie Finch. Head coach Ray Overton said that he would be playing Arterberry some in that tailback position. Arterberry and Knaus are the running backs. Toby Richardson at quarter. Hillman Johnson, the man in motion. They give it to Arterberry. Looks for a block, gets it. 15, 20. Changes his direction as he drives out to the 26-yard line. 1st down. Good run by Darren Arterberry. You know, he really came into his own when Reggie Finch was injured. Arterberry, one of those youngsters that you're so lucky to have because he's a very solid ball player. Just a very intelligent runner. You're going to see other youngsters in high school football who are going to have more physical ability, but Arterberry gets about 120% with the ability that he has. He really is an overachiever. He does a lot better than you think that he would be, less with the talents that he has. A 1st down for the Cardinals.
They're getting some outstanding blocking now up front. That last time, Perez and Pascal led the way for Arterberry to get 13.
Arterberry and Knaus, the running backs, they give it to Knaus. He is hit standing up. Whoa. Nothing there. Got back to the line of scrimmage, and then he was really creamed. Jimmy Williams, the left tackle, in on the stop, number 63. There's Williams going back in there with some of his teammates. Ingris, by the way, number 16, is at end. He's the defensive end who stole the ball away from Arterberry just a few minutes ago. They're going to give Knaus 1 yard on that play, make it 2nd and 9. Richardson looks to pass under pressure, gets the pass away and completes it for the 1st and 10. Very nice play that time by Toby Richardson as he completed the pass to Drew Randall.
That was a sensational pass because Richardson had some pressure back there. Look at it again. He's feeling a little bit of pressure right there and just does a nice job at Randall with some great hands to make the catch.
Very good play by Richardson, and that's what always helps when you do have the ability to have a little speed and presence on the field, and Toby Richardson certainly has that. He can run and he can throw. Arterberry and Knaus remain the running backs as they move from the I formation. Arterberry shifts gears, loses the ball, and lets a big fight for it. And the Trojans recover. Arterberry coughing up his second fumble.
Big play back there. It looks like Bryce Reynolds back there to make the stop as Arterberry hit right there on the left hand, and you see Reynolds right there to make the turnover, the second big turnover for MacArthur, and now tremendous field position at the 44 for Trinity.
Another break for the Trinity Trojans. These teams are so evenly matched. This game may be very well decided by just one key break. Here's Schultz, back to pass, has got time, got the man open, and then overthrows him, throws behind him. Quincy Edwards, the defender on the play. Brad Riddell, the intended receiver. But Edwards played it so well. Quincy Edwards is not a tall young man, but he is awfully fast. And during this entire season, he's been up against wide receivers who are much taller than he, but they're certainly not any quicker. And speed can make up for a lot. It really is a great saving grace when you've got a lot of speed, and that's what Quincy Edwards has. 2nd and 10. Schultz going to pass again. Going to have a little flare pass. Nice grab indeed by his running back, who takes it inside the 40 down to about the 37-yard line. John Skinner took that ball thrown behind him and just took that ball and hugged it into his body, and then turned downfield and picked up the yardage. A gain of about 7.
Well, out of the wishbone, you can do so many things. We've talked about the quarterback option, the triple option, and you can do this right here. Split your backs out, and you go to one of them that's coming out of it. A lot of people to cover in the backfield. It's a busy day, a busy night for the linebackers to try to cover everyone in that wishbone attack.
This is Schultz on the keeper. He is shy of the first down as he comes down to about the 34-yard line. They'll have to get it to about the 33. So you got 4th and about 1. No doubt that they're going to go for it. The question is, what type of a play will they attempt?
They'll probably come out in the wishbone because that is the triple option. And, you know, it's a very good short yardage offense. Watch for something off the tackle.
They've got the first down with plenty to spare. Ball goes to B.J. Weaver. And B.J. lugs it down to the 30-yard line. No deception that time. That was strictly a straight handoff. Gave it to the first man through, and Weaver got down there, evaded the on-charging Cardinal defenders, and bruised his way down to the 30 for the 1st and 10. Because this is a playoff game, one thing to take into consideration is the penetrations that either team makes. The Trojans already have one. A penetration defined as taking the ball inside your opponent's 20-yard line. There is Schultz. Turns the corner and really takes a shot, and down he goes at about the 27-yard line. Boy, he got a shoulder tackle that time and just knocked right off his feet.
Well, we're down to 4 minutes and 22 seconds to play in the half, and boy, you know, you thought the first quarter went by in a hurry. That's what an option kind of an offense will do. It really grinds out the clock, and that could be a factor later on in the game if we get into a ball control and someone sitting on a lead or possibly trying to get back into the game.
Darren Schultz hands off to the second man, breaks the tackle, keeps on going, and just moves inside the 15-yard line. That's John Skinner. Refused to be taken down. One Cardinal defender grabbed him by the jersey, but Skinner was able to pull away and fight his way to the 15 for another 1st and 10.
Well, he's had a tough night. Been sacked a couple of times. That is 9 carries. Well, actually, it was a quick hitter in the middle that gave it to Skinner. I'm sorry, I thought Schultz had it, but Schultz is having some problems with quarterback running the ball, but Skinner on a nice trap play got the big yardage.
This time they go through the center of the line on a dive play. B.J. Weaver gets about 3. If we have a field goal attempt here by the Trojans, and of course they're not thinking field goal right now, they're thinking touchdown, but should we have a field goal attempt, it will be done by Brad Riddell, who is the son of head coach John Riddell. He is the wide receiver, plays the split end position, does all the kicking for this Trojan team. 2nd and 7, some hesitation by the defensive unit for the Cardinals. Looked like they missed some assignments. Here is, very fortunately for the Cardinals, the running back being tripped up. That was Sonny Pitcher, because the hole was there. If Pitcher had retained his balance, he could conceivably have gone in for the touchdown. But he was tripped up and dropped just shy of the 9-yard line. 3rd and 5 from that point as far as time is concerned. 2 minutes and 40 seconds. And the Trojans taking advantage of the second fumble by Darren Arterberry, knocking on the door. Big play coming up right here for both teams. Schultz on the keeper, tripped up and dropped on the 9-yard line. He was knocked down by a combination of his own man and a Cardinal defender as he was trying to get up and above both of them. Jason Lowe from the outside linebacking position collided with a would-be blocker. Down they both went, and Schultz went down in the pile too as he was tripped up. Now Schultz is going to call for a timeout, and we're going to have a meeting of the minds. We've got 4th down, ball on the 9-yard line, 4th and about 4. You would think that they would go for the field goal attempt, but you never know. To get the first down, they're going to have to pick up 4 yards. To get the touchdown, they need 9. Riddell is a good kicker. He certainly has the leg to boot one this distance, because it would not be that long a kick, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, it will be very interesting to see what they decide here in a game that has been dominated by the defenses. We have had 3 turnovers, and the closest right now that anyone's been to the goal line. I know it's very tempting to go for it, but he played almost 2 quarters and there's no score. And in a game that looks to be very defensive-minded, any kind of points could be valuable, and apparently Riddell thinks so, and he's going to go for the 3.
Brad Riddell putting the kicking tee down on the 16-yard line. This will be a 26-yard attempt. There's the spot. The kick is up high enough, long enough, and the kick is good. And the Trojans draw first blood. They lead it 3-0 with 2 minutes and 2 seconds remaining to go in the first half. Brad Riddell, a 26-yard field goal, and that was set up by the fumble by Darren Arterberry. So the turnover spells 3 points for the Trojans. Boy, this has been a defensive-oriented ball game thus far.
It really has, and that fumble, obviously the big key there at the 44-yard line, allowing Trinity to get the ball back, and the first time that they have shown any signs of being able to get that wishbone offense going, and it looked pretty good. Now they have split out in some variations of the wishbone here in the first half, but they stayed pretty much to it on that 44-yard drive, and a couple of big plays on the triple option worked well for them, and they were able just to run the ball down the field and then finally get the field goal. And at this point, that's looking pretty good when you play all the way down to 2 minutes to go in the half, and the first chance to get a score, they get the 3.
The Cardinals have got some burners back there. The triple return man in the middle, Reggie Finch. To his right, Darren Arterberry, and to his left, Quincy Edwards. We did a game earlier this year, as you recall, Brian, where Reggie Finch took a kickoff on about his 3-yard line and ran it all the way back for a touchdown. They just formed a wedge in front of him. Had about 5 blockers in front of him, and he broke through that wedge at about the 25-yard line and just outran everyone. And, of course, obviously, he'd like to see history repeat. Don't think that the Trojans are not aware of that. Riddell will be kicking off, and I'm sure he would like to keep the ball away from Finch. And he does. It's coming over to Arterberry, who takes it on the 10-yard line, looks to go up the center of the field and changes his mind and comes out to about the 27-yard line. So the Cardinals have the ball on their own 27-yard line. Time-wise, 1 minute 57 seconds remaining here in the first half. Timeouts, as far as the Cardinals are concerned, they've got all 3. The Trojans have 1 left. Well, conceivably, we might see the Cardinals open it up a little bit here. And, of course, I'm sure the Trojans are thinking about that. Reggie Finch with the ball. Reggie to the 30, the 35. Got a man to get around, can't do it, and he's brought down on the 42-yard line. And bringing him down again is old nemesis Mike Fondra the left cornerback. But a good run by Finch of 15 yards in the first down.
He did an outstanding move once he got into the secondary. Watch the move he puts on the defensive back right there and evades that tackle. He got by Baker and was able to get 4 more yards.
A gain of 15, first and 10 for the Cardinals. The clock is rolling. Again, they give it to Finch. Looks for blockers and then is hit and dropped. Reggie slowed down there trying to figure out which way to go. And sneaking up from behind him on the blind side and then bringing him down was Michael Hicks.
I don't think he ever saw Hicks. He was trying to find out what to do upfield and find some running room. And he saw Hicks, he finally found Hicks come in from behind him and pull him down.
Yeah, Hicks kind of sneaked up behind him and just dropped him. Reggie got 2 on the play. The Cardinals have called a timeout. They'll have 2 more timeouts. They've got the ball on their 44-yard line, 1 minute and 27 seconds remaining.
After a slow start, Finch is up to 70 yards on 10 carries. That was after having 4 yards on his first 4 carries, but he has been able to break some big ones and get into the open field.
To show you what a fine play that was by Michael Hicks, he is a defensive lineman. He is the right tackle in this 4-3 defense, and he just fought off the blocker and then came from behind Finch and dropped him after Reggie got about 2 yards on the play. Again, it's Reggie Finch across the 45 out to the 47. Not much there. And the Trojans say, hey, that's fine. You just continue to do it that way because we'll give you those kind of plays all you want. Trojans hoping that the clock will run down. We're coming close to the 1-minute mark. Here's Richardson looking to pass. Got a man wide open. Hits him. Shoemake for the 40, the 35. He's out of bounds on the 32-yard line. Trey Shoemake knocked out of bounds on the 32 where it's a first and 10. And brother, he was wide open. Really a well-conceived play by the Cardinals. And by getting out of bounds, obviously they stopped the clock, saved themselves a timeout. 1 minute and 3 seconds remaining. The ball down on the 32-yard line. Remember, the Cardinals have moved it from their 27 now down to the Trojans' 32. Richardson rolls right, looks to pass, got another man open and overshoots him. That was Trey Shoemake again, who had outmaneuvered the defender, John Ellick. But the ball was overthrown down at about the 20-yard line. Shoemake really using some class moves here.
He's the guy they like to go to when they need a big play. Of course, outside of Reggie Finch. Finch can bust you one from the line of scrimmage, but when they go upstairs, Shoemake, who has some great moves and sensational hands, can get the ball for you. He did a nice job a couple plays ago getting out of bounds and keeping the Cardinals from having to use a timeout.
Richardson rolls to the right under some pressure. Now he's going to turn the field. Richardson 30, 25, 20. Down to the 15 and knocked out of bounds. Let's see what they say. He stepped out on the 15-yard line. That's where the speed of Cody Richardson comes in. He's got the speed of the halfback, and he also has the deception as well. So Richardson rambles for 18 yards and a first down, and the Cardinals knocking on the door now. This is just great ad-libbing by Richardson. See the pressure? He just moves back to the line, and here's where he puts on the speed, and then a very good deceptive move as he moves inside the 20. And stepped out of bounds on the 15, where it's first and 10 from that point. Now, they have Reggie Finch in a wing position as a potential receiver. Brad Knaus is the lone running back. Knaus throws the block, man open, hit and dropped on the 12-yard line. They played it to Reggie Finch. A gain of just 3 yards. Again, Mike Vondra all over Reggie Finch, and the Cardinals call timeout.
Well, that play was pretty close to being pass interference. Vondra hit Finch right as the ball got there, and it was very close. No flags on the play, and with the catch, Finch gets about 3 yards. It'll be 2nd and 7, and they have 40 seconds to work to get the first down or the touchdown.
I would not be surprised to see them use this formation again. Let's go back and show you this play. That's a nice block that time, and boy, you're right, Brian. It looked as Finch might have been hit just before he got the ball. It was awfully close. I would not be surprised to see them use this formation again, but this time put Finch in the end zone, send him into the end zone.
Yeah, you have 40 seconds, and the ball is at the 11-yard line, so you're obviously well in the range of Henderson for a field goal try. So right now you want to try to get into that blue carpet area, get into the score.
And remember, Richardson can run too. He's always a threat to do that. So saying, he pitches back to Finch, who is going to be overwhelmed and knocked out of bounds on about the 10. Gain of about 1. It'll give us 3rd and 6. Time-wise, 36 seconds remaining. So time right now really not a factor. What we're saying, this is the play where you try and do one of two things. You go for the touchdown, or you try and pick up the first down. Failing to do either of those, then you call on Chris Henderson for the field goal attempt.
Well, they'll probably go in there now on 3rd down.
Now they've got Finch in a wing position to the left. Watch him go into the end zone. Let's see. Here is Richardson rolling. Richardson passing down. It is tipped. Touchdown! Trey Shoemake taking the tip pass out of the hands of a Trojan defender, and what a break for the Cardinals. Oh, I'll tell you, you'd rather be lucky than good, and the Cardinals were awfully lucky that time because they had 2 potential receivers in the same area, and usually you like to just isolate one receiver on one defender. It didn't turn out that way. Shoemake and Finch very close to one another, so the 2 defenders were there. The ball was batted up in the air, and Shoemake made the catch. Here is Henderson's try for point. It's good. With 30 seconds remaining, the Cardinals have driven 73 yards. The touchdown play, Richardson to Trey Shoemake, and the point added by Henderson. Oh, my goodness. Let's see if we can show you this one again. I'm sure our technical crew busy trying to cue up this instant replay. And that's what makes, I think, television so exciting. The marvelous technical resources that the industry has come up with, and instant replay being one of them. So saying, let's see if we can see it again.
I tell you, that was very close to being a 100-yard interception return.
Right.
He had a lot of room to run if Finch hadn't, I'm sorry, if Shoemake hadn't got it. Boy, tipped right off the hands of Bryce Reynolds.
Yes. Old Bryce is, you know, he's just dying 1,000 deaths. This is the way it looks from the goal line. Tipped right in the hands of Shoemake. Says, hey, thank you so much.
Reynolds may have been so surprised when he turned around and saw the ball right in his hands. And that, boy, they hit him right in the numbers. A nice pass, hit right to him, but he just tipped it up. Instead of knocking it down, he did try to go for the interception, tipped it up, and that went right to Shoemake behind him. So they go to the length of the field after the field goal by Trinity, and the short kick returned to about the 27, and the Cardinals did a nice job. Their best offensive drive of the night, obviously, hitting a couple of big pass plays and then getting it down in close and cashing it in on the tip pass.
Bryce Reynolds, I'm sure, is awfully disappointed right now. Henderson to kick off. The Trojans hoping that they can get a very good return. But it's going to be a squib kick. High hop. Picked up by a Trojan player who's brought down on the 30-yard line. Boy, those are always tough to return. That was Curtis McDade getting the football and bringing it out to the 30. That only ate up 3 seconds. But one of the things that it did, it negated a big run back. Now, don't be surprised to see some razzle-dazzle plays here out of this wishbone formation. I wouldn't be, well, one thing you might look for, perhaps, if they do have it in their playbook, would be a flea flicker. Although they may play it close to the vest, but knowing John Riddell, I sometimes wonder about that. The handoff goes to the second man through, as they do play it very close to the vest that time. That's John Skinner. John with a... Riddell with just one timeout left figures, let's just kill the clock and go into the dressing room and kind of say, woe is me, and they're just going to let the clock roll down. And now Riddell, I think, wants to call a timeout and does. 4 seconds left, and he calls the timeout. And, you know, you really want, it makes no sense, because if you're going to call a timeout, you want to call it with as much time remaining, not as little time remaining. This just means that barring a penalty, you've only got one play left. I think Riddell that time just wanted to let the clock go down and then had second thoughts in his own mind and figured, well, what the heck, we'll call the timeout. Maybe we can come up with something.
Well, they're going to have 4 seconds, and Schultz, who can throw the ball pretty well, you would expect to have him look for Riddell, who they've tried to link up with a couple of times tonight. So far, Schultz unofficially is 1 of 4 for 7 yards.
Yeah, he has been under some pressure. As you can tell by the attire of the fans here, it is cool tonight. Really great football weather. Boy, this is what it is all about. These are some of the memories that you never forget from your high school days, going out to the big football games, especially the playoff games. Now, what a thrill it is for these youngsters to be playing here at the home of the Dallas Cowboys. Brad Riddell split out wide to the left. Schultz drops back. Now the bounce pass incomplete, and that's going to be it. John Skinner. Is there a flag down on the field? Yeah, there is. Holding is going to be the call against the Trojans, but I really think that the Cardinals are safely getting. And they do. That's going to be the end of the first half. It's all over. It's history now. Our score, the Cardinals of Irving MacArthur 7, the Trinity Trojans 3. We'll be back in just a moment.
And 2 and 3 and...
Could you save a life if you had to?
2.
Tens of thousands of all heart attack deaths could be prevented if everybody knew Red Cross CPR.
1.
That's why the Red Cross offers classes in this life-saving procedure. Not just at their local chapters, but right where you work. Learn how to save a life. Call the American Red Cross.
We're back at Texas Stadium, and it is halftime, and Irving MacArthur leading by 7-3. Bob, obviously the first half, the keys have got to be the turnovers. The turnovers at midfield, giving Trinity a chance, and then MacArthur finally got their drive going, and the big play to Shoemake in the end zone.
Yeah, I think one of the things that it shows is that MacArthur under Ray Overton is a very opportunistic team. This is a team that can take advantage of some breaks, and they can sometimes make their own breaks. Now, they're down with about less than 2.5 minutes to go. Got to move the ball 73 yards, and that's exactly what they do. No penalties. They don't get any breaks from the other team as far as penalties against the other team. They just move the ball with ease.
All right, the Cardinals of MacArthur up 7-3 over Trinity at halftime. Now let's take you down to the field for the halftime activities.